Welcome to the Week 8 edition of the Sports Cube podcast. I'm Kyler Gavin.
I'm Branton Beard.
And we got...
And I'm Eli Grimes.
So, first off, I just want to say a huge and a special thank you. We kind of... I liked last week's show, fellas. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, that was...
Last week's show was pretty awesome.
It was pretty fun.
But yeah, so I just want to say a special huge thank you again to Chris McPherson for getting that set up. You know, it's kind of surreal how that even happened. I'm still mind blown, and dreams are definitely coming true for me. But yeah, I was super pumped whenever we did it, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity. So I just want to say thank you again. Yeah, also, sure. Big news, we got our own YouTube channel now. Woo! Sports Cube Podcast. Check us out on there. Subscribe if you want. That's up to you. We're not going to make you do that. It's up to you. But
he will.
I definitely will.
But we don't have a lot of MLB or NBA news. Unfortunately, we're kind of in that weird transition period of the only NBA news that we really have got is they plan on starting the season on December 22nd. So until then, maybe some free agency moves, but there's not a whole lot talking as far as overall NBA and MLB. So you know what that means. NFL time. So do you want to start off?
We can start out with some Steelers football. Yeah, we can start
As
looking
always,
at some 8-0 Steelers. Looking at some Ben Roethlisberger action right here. Wanted to lead this team to 8-0. Wasn't pretty, though. You got Garrett Gilbert coming under center after the benching of Ben DiNucci. Right here, you got T.J. Watt in coverage.
That's not that bad of a throw, though.
It's not a bad. No, Gilbert definitely showing he had an arm when he played in the AAF, leading both in touchdowns and yards. Right here, Ben Roethlisberger doing what he does best. After being injured, doing the pump fake and hitting James Washington. Right now with the 1st and 15, look at Garrett Gilbert again. The ball's going to be punched out right into the hands of Mika Fitzpatrick. But right here, after this play, no Ben Roethlisberger. He's getting checked out after his knee. So you got Mason Rudolph coming up. But they'll go past that, though. Right here, you got Ben Roethlisberger hitting Juju Smith-Schuster.
Fighting his way through.
Touchdown.
On the Dallas Star.
And giving a TO. Right here, we got Gilbert in the end zone, but he'll be hit as he's thrown. Yeah, Mika Fitzpatrick taking it out of the end zone. He should not have ran that out because of the personal foul penalty that'll back him up to the 1-yard line. But that didn't stop Ben. Here he comes back again. You got Deontay Johnson fighting for extra yards and getting inside the 20.
Little sticks.
There it is.
Human joystick right there. Right now with 2nd and 5, is he going to find his tight end, Eric Ebron, with some jump moves, getting in the end zone, making it 24-19.
Why weren't you there at the Steelers game, Brandon?
I loved it there in Houston, Texas. Right here, Gilbert, last-second effort, and it's deflected once again. Second week where
Mika Fitzpatrick came up clutch. First 8-0 right there. And it says right there, first 8-0 start in team history, man.
Right, yes.
You about had a heart attack. You know.
Made you sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I was sweating.
How do you think it feels being an Eagles fan and a Bears fan? I mean, seriously. Because let's be honest, the Steelers haven't had to do much of that this year. You got your first dose of that, man.
Everybody deserves just a little bit of it.
Last week was the same thing. Titans week, same thing. I mean, NFL games, they do what they do best and get you a heart attack.
Any team can win on any given day, but we're just not the Cowboys' day. And, Juju had a great game, obviously, stat-wise. But, man, my whole key is defense wins. They always say defense wins championships, and they win you football games. And right there, Mika Fitzpatrick, have a day, man. I mean,
yes.
As a DB, you get the fumble recovery, then you get, a pick. And we mentioned him on the show 1 week, and now he's performing. It's J.J. Arcega-Whiteside all over again, let me tell you.
But for Ben Roethlisberger, he passed Dan Marino in 2 big stats this week. He had his 68 300-yard passing game, passing Dan Marino, to be the 6th all-time. He also got his he also is now 5th in all-time fourth-quarter comebacks, passing Dan Marino.
Wow. That's impressive. That's very impressive.
I think Big Ben is really underappreciated as of late.
I agree,
People kind of forgot about him after he had that injury last year, but he's back, and he's shown that he's back.
I was watching an interview with Ian Rappaport and Pat McAfee, and they talked about Ben Roethlisberger, about his injuries and stuff like that. And Ian Rappaport flat out said it. He goes, Ben Roethlisberger will literally play until his arms and his legs and his ankles are literally falling off of his body. I mean, he's just kind of like, I'm kind of towards the late end of my career. I'm literally going to play until my whole arm literally, like last year with like his ligaments, he literally played till his ligaments pretty much fell off. Yeah. So, he's just a warrior.
It's kind of a rare breed now in the NFL because you got guys like Big Ben, Matthew Stafford. Those guys are tough, and they will not come out of the game.
Exactly. ESPN looked back during his career, Ben Roethlisberger has been listed as injured for 72 weeks in his career.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
So let's move on to the Bears. The Bears, man. The Bears struggled as of late. You know, we got Nick Foles right here coming out. You know, people are, just like yourself, Eli, you kind of want Trubisky, don't you?
I miss him. I miss him so much, and I'm all in for Mitch now.
That's just a dime of a throw.
A.J. Brown is just a man.
Making things happen. Yeah. And here comes a Brown special right here. A little jump on the goalpost.
Oh, wow.
Sticking
in honor
to
of him returning to the league. Here's Nick Foles.
Little screen pass. Oh, go figure.
That doesn't look familiar at all, considering we never run screen passes. Can you hear the sarcasm in my voice? We constantly run screen passes,
David
and they don't
Montgomery.
work. And this is what happens.
I'm telling you right now, and I mean this with all due respect, I'm pretty sure a high school freshman football team can probably draw up a better offensive scheme than the Bears as of late.
No, I completely agree with you. Nagy needs to do something different. He needs to relinquish play calling duties.
On the day, Montgomery had 14 carries for only 30 yards, averaging 2.1 yards a carry.
But on the flip side of that, you know, just as we're watching this, you know, that's just a great play call by Vrabel. I mean, you know, give him a little RPO option.
Great coach, great offense.
Flat, but, you know, right here, I mean, hey, kind of make a little bit of a comeback. I mean, I think it's too late for a comeback. You know, you should have done that the first three quarters.
That is the status quo for the Bears offense. Little dime there to Jimmy Graham in the end zone. Hey, that's been a great part of our offense this year.
Been a great addition.
Jimmy Graham. People said he was washed, but he's really shown.
So you're sitting
that he fits in our offense.
So now you're sitting, you know, with the loss and the very tough NFC North. You know, what's your thoughts, Eli? I mean, this Bears team is so interesting because, you know, really, if you, I mean, I think I saw a stat. They contained Derrick Henry pretty well in this game.
They held him over 100 yards.
You know, you do the job in retrospect, but at the same time, you still lose because your offense is not producing.
No, it boils down to our offensive line. It's just we had a few COVID people out this year for our O-line, so it's even worse than usual. And we couldn't get the run game going. Like he said, we only started a drive on a rushing play out of one drive our entire game. So it really just yeah.
You can't do that if you want to win football games.
No, we did not have balance. We did not have balance on the offensive side at all. Our defense continues to be consistent. Mm-hmm. We just bad quarterback play, bad O-line play, can't get the rushing game going. And
it's tough.
We lose games.
Yeah. But, so let's. So I was thinking we might have to go to the local game, the Colts and Ravens game, right there at Lucas Oil Stadium. You know, you have
that man, Lamar Jackson, the running back.
There we go.
Shade.
Looking right here, Colts under center. What are they doing?
Jumping
over into the end zone. Jonathan Taylor.
Man, look at
you get in there?
For the Colts to win, he had to have a good day, and he had a good day in the first half.
Man, his body about bit. And he just like
lawn chair
is about benched and fell in half. But you're there.
That's why we played the game right here.
Phillip Rivers right here. Get ready for this. Jonathan Taylor over the right side. I think he's got a great one, pushing and fighting for yardage. But
there we go.
Tremble fingers.
That's
and then here we go. Play the night. Oh, here comes the return.
Stiff arm.
Here comes Phillip Rivers.
Watch out. Poor Rivers.
Come on, Phillip.
Come on, man.
Rivers. Somebody grab him a tissue.
Pain.
Here comes Rivers under center.
It's champagne, but without the sham. You know what I'm saying?
Here's Rivers again.
So Branton
wet noodle arm.
Oh my goodness.
Right here.
But here's the deal. They didn't call this an interception, but then later they called that an interception.
Yeah.
How?
I saw this.
They said he had enough. He made the football move, 2 steps in a football move.
He didn't have possession. We're watching it. I didn't think he had a possession of that ball.
I have to agree with Kyler on that.
I agree.
He's not. It's moving as he's going down. Mm-hmm. It's
not possession.
That's an awful call.
What they called that was a football move. In the rule book, it says if you make a football move after taking 2 steps, it is called possession. But I don't like that rule. It's like the Jesse James touchdown rule. I don't like it.
I mean, overall, but here's the deal, and here comes Lamar doing what he does, what he does best, using them legs, and too easy. Well, you might as well just tiptoe your way in there. So
Lamar Jackson going for 13 rushes, 58 yards, and this touchdown here.
Ooh.
Right here, showing us some dance moves. As Lamar Jackson and the Ravens will beat the Indianapolis Colts 24-10 as they move to 5-2. Excuse me, 6-2.
Wow, fellas. Wow, there's a lot to unpack. But the funniest take of the entire day has to go to Branton. And he said earlier, and I was like, man, you have to say this on the show. So hit him with it.
Here we go. Phillip Rivers. he had the same amount of tackles as he did touchdown passes. 0.
Ruthless, baby.
You gotta make that tackle, Phillip Rivers. But on that game, you want to compare that to the Ravens and Colts game compared to the Ravens-Steelers game. What do they do differently? The Colts, they went to stop the actual running backs. I know Lamar Jackson isn't a running back, sure. You can say that. But the Colts, they went and stopped the running backs, and they did. They held Dobbins to 38 yards, whereas how he had over 100 yards against the Steelers. But what did that in turn do? It left the RPO open for that last touchdown that gave him the win.
I mean,
you gotta contain Lamar.
And that's just kind of the downfall of the Ravens offense. Whenever you want to try to stop your actual running backs, like you technically have a running back and your quarterback, so it makes it tough. And I think you always want to give the comparison of Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick. And I'm just sorry, but that's simply not the case with Michael Vick. He could throw the ball very effectively. He was like a dual threat. Yeah. And so with Lamar, and I'll even say this, the Eagles, whenever they played the Eagles a couple weeks back, the Eagles did a pretty well job, I thought, of containing Lamar, of actually throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And really, that's honestly, I thought the defense played really well that game for the most part.
Yeah.
And, Lamar will not beat you, and we've seen this week after week, especially against the Chiefs game, we really saw it. He can't beat you just by throwing the ball.
He cannot. That's why he's a running back. But looking at that game, one guy that did not get used like the whole media said he was going to, Mr. Dez Bryant. A whole 0 targets, 0 catches, 0 touchdowns.
I hate to see that.
But with that, I think it's also he might still be learning the playbook, as well. Obviously I could probably somewhat see that. I think if they were to use him a lot this game, they'd be like, that would raise a lot of media hype, and I really don't think that you want that, quote unquote, in your locker room. So I thought it was smart. I honestly, we probably should see it coming, just like Antonio Brown, which we'll get into here in just a second. But just like Antonio Brown, you don't want to create that lot of media hype.
No.
At least for a couple weeks.
And a big thing about that, I think it was more used as a scheme, because you know who that opened up? Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, he had a much better game this week. Of course, he went out and started tweeting some stuff that Harbaugh told him to take down. But you can't do that. You want to see the players go up to the coaches themselves and not tweet about it.
Yeah.
So move on to the primetime game, and this was where was Tom Brady at? I think
he was counting to 4 again.
Yeah, he was still counting
to 4. He didn't know if the game was at 3 or 4.
It's about 4 o'clock, Tom Brady.
But here we go. You see Antonio Brown in his uniform since what, 2018, 2019?
Yeah, 2019. But here we go. Here's this man, Drew Brees, coming for him.
He had a monster night.
That was too easy.
All night.
Wide open.
Yeah.
Drew Brees, from start to finish, he just dominated. There was nothing. This whole Saints team just dominated. All around, you look at this, and I think other than this might be one of, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, this might be one of Tom Brady's worst games in his career.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure. I think
I read somewhere that this was the second time that he'd ever been down 31-0.
Yeah. And this
like 2004.
Taysom Hill right here running free.
Woo!
See, the thing about Taysom Hill that I don't understand when teams play him, when he is in the game, he has one purpose, and it's to run. I don't understand how defenses do not key in on that so quickly.
And it's just like a gadget, type deal. He's either going to run the ball, catch the ball, or pass the ball.
Yeah.
That's those three options.
It's not that hard to scheme on that.
Correct.
Oh, look at that.
Right there,
that was a grab by Michael Thomas.
Yeah, good to have him back.
Yeah.
They needed those slant routes.
Well, that actually wasn't Michael Thomas. That was Emmanuel Sanders, I believe.
Yeah,
was it? Oh, my bad.
Thomas didn't get a touchdown this game, but there were 4 receivers that got a touchdown.
Oh, big man! Oh,
big man getting the interception.
But it's just like, it's just plays like
Poor
that,
Tom.
And they were talking about it this morning on I believe it was the show Get Up.
Yep.
And it was First Take It, with Dan Orlovsky. And Dan Orlovsky really just said, some of these throws you really can't put on Tom Brady, because like that's just a
that's a tip ball.
That's just a good play by the defender. So, but right here,
Antonio Brown. Getting Antonio Brown utilized. You got to get him into the mix before he starts crying on Twitter.
And here's the deal. Here it brings up another good point. As we
this
see
play right here, Tom Brady. Antonio Brown, that's not Ben Roethlisberger. You don't do a pump and go.
There had to be some miscommunication.
It had to be, but here's the deal. And I was just about to say this. How much did that, staying at your house, how much did that pay off for you?
Rappaport said this morning, though, that they're not staying in the same house anymore. They must have had some discrepancy, and I wouldn't want to be in the same house as somebody that I made look stupid either.
I mean, it's just, I was watching the game last night, as much of us all pretty much were, and I was like, what is this? Like, it was just kind of like, it was baffling.
Yeah,
it was
Tampa
like,
Bay
what?
were the favorites going into this game.
Keep the receipts,
by a great margin.
And that was the first time a division rival has swept Tom Brady.
Wow.
It hadn't happened.
I get that makes sense considering the division that he's played in. Yeah.
That's an impressive stat. I mean, but you think about it. I mean, he's played in the AFC East with what?
That's what I'm saying.
Dolphins, the Jets, Mark Sanchez.
Up until recently, that division has been all Patriots.
It was also the least amount of rushes by any team. They had 5 rushes.
Oh yeah, I did read that.
The previous least was 6 rushes in the game.
And one of those rushes was the kneel at the end of the game.
One was the kneel.
Yes, so
give it up for him.
Talk about balance on offense. I know a little bit about that.
So the only thing we had written down the Seattle-Buffalo game, but really the only thing that I really got to say is Josh Allen better be in that MVP candidate.
Yeah, he's back in that count now.
I mean, he's way in that count. I mean, that dude is unreal. And also and Coach Josh McDermott said yesterday that they believe that his grandma passed away. I think the day before, and he had to. It's just like Brett Favre, whenever a relative passes away, we've seen that in the NFL.
Yeah,
where they
I
just
think
play
it's
better.
amazing to see players come out like that after
shows
they're
strong.
Like
Oh, look at that. I mean, look at that. I mean, stand in the pocket,
Rolling
throw,
out.
rifle it, money.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the deal. I think with you saying that Josh Allen's probably in the MVP race, I think that maybe Russell Wilson might be stepping out of that box a little bit because
you got to still keep Russell Wilson because Russ can still cook.
True, but at the same time, you look at Kyler Murray. He dueled against the.
That's a quarterback that hasn't been given the credit he deserves. I believe.
We're usually we always see a lot of MVP, or excuse me, not a lot, but a few MVP candidates early on. There's been multiple that I think we can account for here early on in the NFL. And look at that. I mean, defense coming up clutch, hitting Russell Wilson, which is something that's very hard to do.
Right. And one thing that's got to be mentioned about this game, the Bills had 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
You get 5 turnovers against any team, and you should be winning that game.
Russell Wilson threw
right there.
picks, didn't he?
Yeah, two picks.
That's uncharacteristic.
Yeah.
For Russell Wilson.
And especially for a Bills defense that they didn't have Josh Norman.
Yeah.
Hey, on this throw right here, Josh Allen was definitely channeling his inner Ben DiNucci on that with the sidearm, baby. Hit him with it.
Ben DiNucci.
I mean, it was just dominant. I mean, and I love this game because it was so back and forth, but really, it was dominant for the Bills, honestly, the entire game.
This is one of those games that you love because you really don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Back and
because
forth,
it's 2 great, talented teams, 2 great offenses. And that leads to high-scoring games.
Exactly. And that previous rushing touchdown by Zach Moss, they're glad to have him back, want him back in the mix. He was injured for a couple of weeks. But
Tre'Davious White right there making the pick just a little bit ago. And how about that, man? You
got some wheels.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a dual-threat quarterback. Josh Allen is a dual-threat quarterback.
He's sneaky fast, man.
That's what this league's going to. Everybody's a dual threat.
Yep. So I want to go back to this MVP race talk because you guys are talking about Josh Allen. Earlier I read that now the top candidate for MVP is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Once again.
And I think it's right. I mean,
really?
Mahomes definitely deserves. We have come to a standard to where we're putting everybody comparing him to Mahomes. He can do this.
I mean,
we're comparing everyone to Mahomes now. He's the new Brady. He's going to be the face of this league for a long time.
He's just so good. I mean, he can run. I mean, he's got the insane arm talent. He's got the accuracy. But man, I'm saying, man, you got it. I never say Mahomes at the top, but man, I mean that's
the top 3. I believe
he's up there.
He was Mahomes, and then Rodgers, and then Russell Wilson. Those were the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what a week of NFL football, and we kind of got, and with the video clips and stuff like that, we kind of got the idea, and we loved it, so we're rolling with it, and we hope that you guys liked it. So that's kind of a new spin-off, and we'll probably use that for probably every episode because we just love that. We love seeing it as we talk about it. So. Fellas, I think that'll wrap up, at least for the Sports Extra half. Check us out on Spotify and YouTube at SportsQ Podcast. We'll see you next week. All right. Oh, where did Eli go? Where's Eli?
He's coming back.
Hey! How about that? Into the YouTube and Spotify scene.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, Spotify viewers couldn't see that, but obviously Eli kind of rolled out of the picture and rolled back in.
There you go.
But man, we're kind of making some big moves, right? In the kind of, with the YouTube game,
yeah,
we figured.
we're spiking it up a little bit.
We're
we're changing it up.
And one thing, just so that people know going forward, unfortunately, due to our college studio, our colleges after Thanksgiving break, we are unfortunately able to meet because we're actually going to be going online the rest of the semester. So
don't want the Rona.
Yeah. So COVID-19, go figure. But so with that, just so that you guys are prepared, we're probably going to be doing like a lot of Zoom calls, and we're kind of in the process of trying to figure out how we're going to upload those. But we will have some sort of content lined up. Just be prepared for it. We're not going to stop, because around that time, we may take it. Maybe might take a couple days off for Thanksgiving, Christmas, stuff like that. Sure, understandable.
Still gotta give you content.
Yeah, but
right.
I mean, we still got to provide that.
We gotta give the Thanksgiving games.
Yeah.
Some Steelers-Ravens action on Thanksgiving night,
Detroit
prime time, baby.
Lions and Bears will probably play again. We'll see.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got to keep giving you
every
that
year.
sports content, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Stay away from that Stephen A. Smith nonsense. Get you some Sports Cubed.
Make our own stuff.
That's right.
But so I think with that, I mean, we might as well roll with the Chiefs and Panthers. You know what I mean? How about
this?
that?
Some Panthers. Get some Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey back. Oh, but he's gone
back.
again.
CMC.
Right, here we got Mahomes rolling out. Who's he going to find? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You thought Le'Veon Bell was going to get touches. Only 4.
You thought.
You thought. Patrick
Right here.
Mahomes drops back.
Fake handoff to Le'Veon Bell. Who's he going to find? Right down there. Tyreek Hill schemed him open. Andy Reid, just a brilliant offensive
Look at
mastermind.
him. I mean, he's just like, too easy. Like,
He knows.
He's just toying with him. But right here, Teddy Bridgewater coming back. He said, I can throw him a little bit of some sauce
steps
here.
in. Ooh,
Sauce
take
him.
off.
Get
He'll
some
keep it.
first down action.
Wow.
Jumping and finding his way to that first down.
You got to respect when a quarterback puts himself out there like that.
'Cause
Obviously, it's a little dangerous, but it's football.
It's football. You
just
gotta
have to
get
do
that first
sometimes.
down. Right here, Teddy Bridgewater in the red zone, going to
QB
take
draw.
off again into the end zone for the touchdown.
That's another
Panthers
quarterback
back
that I
on
don't
top.
believe gets enough credit.
I agree. Bridgewater, after getting hurt, he didn't get very much credit. But right here, Mahomes back in the red zone, throwing. Who's he going to find? He's going to find Mr. Tyreek Hill for another touchdown.
it's too easy for the Chiefs. Like, it's too easy. Now,
I mean, they got it on rookie mode.
Now, one thing about Christian McCaffrey that,
There he
he gets a touchdown right here, one thing about Christian McCaffrey that we have just found out today is that, and fantasy owners are going to hate me for this, and by the way, 67-yard field goal. What are you thinking?
He has the length. You can't not kick it if you know he has the length. I'm sure he's done that in
If there was a
practice.
guy to do it, it'd be Harrison Butker.
Yeah. But anyway, so back to the Christian McCaffrey, which, I mean, kind of going back to that. I mean, you might as well at least take a shot, miracle. But anyway, back to the Christian McCaffrey. I read a report per Ian Rappaport that McCaffrey just came off his ankle injury, and now they're saying that he has a shoulder injury on top of that. And fantasy owners are going to be upset. And I'm like, man, here, channel my inner Chris Collinsworth. Here's a guy, that
old Chris.
It's a good impression, Kyler.
Yeah. Now here's a guy. That just scored some touchdowns, for your fantasy team, and he gets hurt again. I mean, how about it? That's my inner Chris Collinsworth.
That was perfect right there.
But it's just so unfortunate because now they're like you're taking the other next step back. But at the same time, Mike Davis, he proved earlier in the year that he's solid. So I think that they'll be okay. I mean, considering the fact that you look at that and they stood toe to toe with probably the best team. Well, excuse me.
I'd say the best team.
You think over your Steelers?
I'd still take the Chiefs over the Steelers, especially if they're not going to play with fans in the stands.
I respect that.
I gotta take the Chiefs over the Steelers.
Well, hey, he said it, so I'm gonna roll with it. So,
there we go. You heard it.
But I think with the best team in the AFC, and that's impressive. I mean, considering the fact that I think if they stood toe to toe with probably the best team in the AFC, you can honestly probably stand toe to toe with the Bucs and the Saints. At least the Bucs, considering the fact that the Saints just absolutely killed the Bucs yesterday.
Right.
The Bucs can't be beat. They are beatable.
Yeah.
So
the Chiefs.
It was a great hard-fought try to win victory for the Panthers essentially.
Yeah.
It definitely shows some promise for the Panthers. I think they're another team that are going to be really good in the coming years. I mean, you look at them and you look at the Bengals. They're going to be in the Chargers. A couple teams that are going to be really good here in a year or two. once they get some more pieces and put it into place.
Another team like that is the Raiders.
I agree.
They could be a playoff team this year.
Yeah, we're talking this year. I mean, usually around this time, looking playoff push, the Raiders are going to fall off a little bit, but not this year. I mean, you're looking at them. They have the second wild card seed. Of course, they're going to allow 7 this year and possibly 8 if there's more COVID games.
If COVID permits that. So I'm going to, just because, the Eagles were on their bye week this week, obviously. But, man, we got to talk about this NFC East matchup between the Washington football team and the New York Giants. I mean, a stinker for the entire game. And this is the funniest clip I've seen this entire year, and this describes the NFC East perfectly. You have, do little, gets the first down. Oh, he coughs up the ball.
No.
Nobody can pick it up. Come on.
Oh,
pick up the ball.
3, 4.
Oh, my God.
6 attempts, and they finally get underneath the pile.
Oh, my
he comes over the ball. The New York Giants.
Gotta show you he's got it.
Pathetic. I mean, how just upset and pathetic that is. I mean, that is the perfect clip to describe the NFC East. Everybody sucks.
Who's that, Evan Ingram?
Yeah, Evan Ingram found
By the way, Evan Ingram got roasted on Twitter because they're saying that he might be the NFC East version of Nelson Aguilar. And by the way,
he cannot catch a ball. But that's uncharacteristic.
But Alex Smith coming back in, he didn't have he didn't have the game that he was hoping to have.
Look at that money ball.
He's throwing some good balls. I think that's better than the wet noodle that Philip Rivers had.
But here's the deal. Also, with that, Kyle Allen gets hurt, and obviously they didn't show the clip, and I haven't even seen the clip yet. But from what you guys are saying,
it's not fun.
It's nasty.
It's just like Dak Prescott snapped the ankle right in half.
That's horrible.
He's done for the year as well.
But Terry McLaurin, he's on my fantasy team.
That man
going to the end zone.
He's a monster.
A lot of these second-year receivers are incredibly talented. That's one of the best receiver classes in the league.
And I'm telling you right now, I was intrigued in this game just because number one, it was NFC East. But picked off Jabril Peppers. But
that's on the quarterback right there.
Yeah, but
that's
anyway,
a little bit overthrown.
I mean, like I said, this game coming out of the wire.
Yeah.
Oh, but Alex
interception.
Smith. I mean, Alex Smith, man, it's just and obviously, I'll give him some credit for battling back because they were down in this game. I'll give Alex Smith all the credit in the world. You're coming off, technically you're a backup, and so you probably didn't have the right reps for, just like the starter. And so because of that, obviously it's just like I'm inexperienced, so to say. But I'll give, like I said, he battled. I mean, as a backup, he battled, and he threw the 2 picks and stuff like that. So, but hey, I mean, you battled. Good job. Thanks for effort.
Once again, like the Bills and Seahawks game, Washington had 5 turnovers. I mean, you gotta settle that down.
I mean, it's just, it's funny. I read today that I think basically whoever wins, they're like half the game out of first place.
Yeah, still.
Like, come on, like.
They don't care about records this year, man.
No.
They're all for the division title.
And here's the deal: the Eagles have a rough schedule coming up. I mean, I saw you. You play this. We literally play the Seahawks, the Packers, and then there's one, and the Saints.
That's arguably 3 of the top 10 defenses right there.
I'm telling you right now.
Seahawks.
I'm telling you right now.
Offenses. My bad.
I'm telling you right now. I may not survive those 3 weeks on this show. I'm serious. I might even come on the show.
We'll get a white flag.
Yep.
You might as well, don't even have me on the show. You might as well just stick a white flag right here in my spot and be like, all right, yep, you know where Kyler's at. He's in a hole crying.
Kyler didn't show up today because the
Eagles
have had their 3rd consecutive
But
loss.
you know what? Knowing Carson Wentz, he'll come out and he'll act like Patrick Mahomes.
You guys can pull one out.
2017 MVP candidate and throw for 600 yards and 8 touchdowns. Like, they always do that, man. Like, the one thing, here's the deal. I'm going on an Eagles rant. The Eagles didn't even play this week. Go figure.
Happen.
But the Eagles will play bad against bad teams, but good against good teams. Like,
did you watch this week?
There was an exception.
And like, here's the deal. Great point. We played your Steelers that week, and it was close. Like we battled. Like, we didn't look like the Sunday Night Football.
The Steelers play bad against bad teams.
But here's the deal. We can't, and we struggled against the Giants and the awful Ben DiNucci at the time Cowboys.
You got to put some respect on Ben DiNucci's name. I mean, look the man. I mean,
yeah.
Sign on. I mean, if you want to.
Gucci DiNucci, baby, let's go.
Here's the thing about being a Bears fan, though. We play bad against good teams and bad teams.
What? Hey, Hey,
Congratulations.
Hey,
We
you might
lose
as-
in
you know what I
style,
mean?
okay?
You might as well not have high hopes if you just have low expectations.
That's what I'm saying, man. If you have no expectations, you can't get your feelings hurt.
Exactly.
You can just watch the game, carefree. Oh, turnover.
You see, I'm not to
Only
that
the
point
Bears.
yet. I'm not to that point yet. I'll hold on a little bit longer, please.
Well,
guys
watch
are
you guys
8-0.
lose the next 8. Watch you
I
guys
don't-
lose the next 8.
Knock on wood, of course. I don't think
your
there's
sake.
a way for that for happening.
16-0 season, baby.
I don't want that. Being honest with you, I think the Steelers need to lose.
Exactly. For
No,
experience.
I totally agree.
They are getting their spirits hyped up way too much. I mean, Juju dancing on the star before the game. What are you doing? You haven't caught a pass
That's some bad
yet.
juju.
It is a bad juju right there.
Little wordplay there, bad juju.
You
then
got to
wha-
show up to play.
And then on TikTok, he dances out of the locker room. I'm like, dude, like,
Bro,
you barely
focus on
won.
the game, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you barely won. I would have been celebrating.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd have been maybe celebrating a little bit.
It is
But
Juju. Juju is one of
That
those
is his
free-spirited
personality,
guys.
yeah.
You got to love Juju. I mean,
be careful with free-spirited players because Antonio Brown might happen again.
okay, that is not the same
no.
person right
Ooh,
there.
hot take.
AD. Okay,
Juju
okay.
Smith-Schuster is the next Antonio Brown.
I don't. AJ Brown and Hollywood Brown are the next Antonio Brown. I mean, look,
Last name Brown.
The fact that
There you go. They're
Hollywood
halfway
went
there.
on Twitter and bashed coaching and you don't do that.
No,
You're a
that's-
second-year guy. You
that's
don't
terrible
have
for
that
your
kind of
team.
say.
He's gone.
So let's how about this? How about Tua, baby?
Tua.
How about that Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa? Okay. I guess we can't really bash Brian Flores for kind of.
You're talking about Tua, but you got to talk about Kyler Murray.
Whoa!
What a dime. Dropping
Wow.
dimes. Oh, what's that?
That's
dime.
another dual-threat quarterback, Kyler Murray.
Here we go. Tua
Here's Tua.
Tagovailoa showing what he can do in the NFL right here. A little dump off,
Oh,
but making some
yes,
magic
sir.
happen for Devontae Parker. Jumping over a couple people.
Devontae
I'll
Parker.
take
I
that.
haven't heard that name in a hot minute.
Hot minute.
He's a
Well,
sleeper.
that's him right there. No, excuse
No,
me, that's
it.
Williams.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Oh, but then he got out with a foot injury, as you can see right there. Here's Kyler Murray.
I mean, look at that.
It was a good throw, but was it an interception? I think it was.
Was he out of
Oh.
bounds?
Ooh.
1 foot, the knees down.
But that's also kind of a
Who came down
two-possession
with
type
it?
deal.
Yeah.
Cardinals came down with it though. He maintained
Oh,
possession.
that's impressive.
It's a touchdown.
Touchdown. Okay,
Wow.
so I didn't actually watch this game, so I'm kind of watching that for the first
Yeah,
time.
I same here.
But you can't do that. I mean, Kyler Murray. I mean, you can't do that, bro, because that's probably should have been a pick.
But here we go, little run pass option as
Easy.
Murray's
He had
gonna
a
take it
monster
in.
game.
Untouched. I mean, too easy. I mean, clockwork.
Like magic. But right here, Tua showing that they can come back. Little Tua magic, dropping it in there.
What a
Over the
dime.
top, making the grab. Touchdown as they're going to go back on top
Mike
here.
Gesicki, dude, he's been honestly pretty underrated.
I agree.
Right here, you got a 50-yard, a little over 50-yard attempt, and it is good.
Money.
As they're going to take the lead once again. But what can the Cardinals do here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left
What
to go?
can
Can
they
they make
do?
a comeback? Here we go, 49-yard attempt. Kyler Murray got him all the way to here.
For
What
the
are they
win!
going to do? And it is. Is it good?
It is
No,
short.
sir. It is
Oh,
just
off there
below.
That's just tough, man. I mean, hey, but honestly, looking at the past 2 weeks, your kicker struggled in overtime against the Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
New kicker?
I don't know if you
Maybe.
say that just yet because it was a 50-yarder. 49 is basically 50 yards. I mean, Murray said simply in his press conference after the game, it's got to be better. I mean, what was that, a 4th and 3? You got to convert. You got to convert on 3rd down there, because if you get a shorter kick, that's made. I mean, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Man, Dolphins are sitting at 5-3 right now, fellas.
Yeah.
5-3.
I'm waiting for the Bills and Dolphins game. I mean,
Yeah.
whoever wins that's going to win the division.
I gotta edge
two
my
good teams.
I gotta have the Bills on that one though, dude.
Gotta have the Bills?
I mean, the Josh Allen is just—he's unreal.
I mean, but
A lot
is he
of
going to
people
show
said
up to
that
play?
about the Rams game too, though.
Right.
And
True.
the Dolphins showed up to play, and they just beat a very good Cardinals team.
Right.
I mean, I'm telling you, the
Cardinals
NFL
beat
is so
Cardinals beat
weird.
the Seahawks a few
Yeah.
weeks ago. So I think it'll be a closer game than you think.
I mean, oh man, it's
It's going to come down to a defensive ball game. Who's
Yeah.
going to make the stop? I mean,
I can
in
see
this,
the Dolphins running away with that one.
Yeah, I could too. I mean, Josh Allen, you say he's an MVP candidate, but here early on in the season, he really didn't play all that well. I mean, he had a couple games to where he threw multiple interceptions, and MVPs can't do that. I mean, simply put.
you have to be almost, I won't say perfect, but you have to be playing at the top tier level all the time for you to be an MVP candidate. And a lot of quarterbacks have this year. I mean, a lot. I mean, man, I know there's a couple people that think if you don't think Russell Wilson's MVP, then they might hammer down on you. But I mean, hey, just look at it. You know what I mean?
It's a toss-up.
It's going to be a heated race. I mean, we're going into the playoff push. We're going to get this MVP talk going. We're going to get this playoff push going, and we're going to see who's going to make the playoffs.
Real quick, and just because we're on the topic, because honestly, DeAndre Hopkins didn't really do much this game. I don't think.
He didn't. He was shut down.
So that leads me to this question, and I was asked this the other day by somebody, and I didn't agree with him, but his statement was that DK Metcalf is the best receiver in football right now.
Nope.
And I don't think so. I don't think so. And he was like, what? I'm like, look, at the time, I thought Robbie Anderson was over DK Metcalf, honestly. I told him, I said, I just think that DK Metcalf just makes some highlight plays.
Right.
And he thought I was crazy. But, sure, he may have the yards and stuff like that, but think about it. A lot of the time, they throw it to DK Metcalf, it's a long ball.
Yeah.
It's a long ball. He catches it. He's tall. It's just like Calvin Johnson all over again.
Yeah. He's
supposed to do that. You know what I mean? He's now, sure, the athleticism is absolutely unreal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's not a great receiver by any means, but to be the best, I think D-Hop's up there. I mean, I think D-Hop is.
There's been a little bit of debate there between the three of them. Julio said he was the best first, and then they asked Devontae Adams, and he said he's the best. And then they asked DeAndre Hopkins. No, I'm the best, he said.
Well, and here's the deal. With Devontae Adams, he's just been hurt. So I can't make that judgment based off of, that monster game that he had on Thursday. So, but, at the same time, I can see all arguments, but at the same time, I mean, it may be that DK has a great first half of football. First, since we're at the halfway point, I don't know. I mean, it's very tough to tell, but I don't know.
And I mean, guys like DeAndre, Julio, and Adams, they've been in the league longer than DK Metcalf. So you can't put DK over them already.
No.
It's too early to tell. Plus, DK is not getting doubled. It's Tyler Lockett. Yeah. Because the games he gets big points is after Lockett gets 50 points in fantasy.
Well, and I may have worded this question wrong. I think he said that DK Metcalf was the best receiver this year.
Well, I mean, it's still best receiver question. I don't think he can put him into that.
No, I agree.
I think he's up there. I'd say at least top 5, though.
Yeah,
I'd say at least right now top 5.
I think that's about fair to say. I mean, off the top of my head right now, I'd say top 3. I'd go Hopkins at 1, I'd go Julio at 2, and I'd go Devontae at 3. That's my top 3.
I respect that.
That's a good list. I mean, that's a good list. And also, by the way, the person that talked to me is a Seahawks fan.
Yeah.
So no bogus. I mean, I can say T.J. Watt's the best edge rusher in the league because he's ranked the best edge rusher in the league.
Well, then you just haven't heard any Eagles defense. You haven't heard any Eagles.
You mean the one that tried to cover
Nate
You mean the one that tried to cover Chase Claypool for his 4th touchdown?
Ooh, 3.
Did you have to bring that up? That was weeks ago. Come on, man.
That's going to be brought up until we play you guys again in 4 years.
Going back to this. Going back to the
Thank you, Ian, in the back. Thank you. Give some props to Ian back there. Turn the camera around. Yes, sir.
The man.
Going back to DK Metcalf, I think it's really the media hypes him up a lot. So
here's the thing. Yes, exactly.
It's when you get a player like this that's just they have a good game, the media will key in on that so hard to create controversy, to breed the comment section and just interaction.
Dude, it's been like that ever since he got drafted because of, think about it. Dude.
Because he's a big dude.
Yes, because he's a big dude. He had that 1% body fat or whatever. It's like, this dude's been hyped up since the draft.
Yeah.
Since his combine, really. Whenever he had that same combine, which is fine. But, dude, let's just be honest, and I'm just going to keep it real with you. Sure, that play that he made trying to chase down the interception was good, but that's just hustle. That's just flat out hustle. You know what I mean? That wasn't anything spectacular. That wasn't a boom, lay the wood.
So many players have done that before. Julio has done that 20 times in his career.
he had more tackles than...
I just thought it was overhyped a little bit.
They played it for the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm like, okay, he made a tackle. He's fast.
But here's the deal.
Move on.
I think that shows more commitment to the team and the game than it shows his ability to play on the field.
I mean, but here's the deal. Because what if Tyreek Hill did that? He's fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just simple hustle.
Yeah, he may not be as big as DK, but he's fast. I mean, what is the top wide receiver ranking on speed? Just have a 40-yard dash.
Yeah.
I mean, you might as well throw John Ross in a corner. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was going to mention that.
You might as well, or a receiver. I mean, you might as well put John Ross in that boat.
Yeah.
I mean,
combine success does not equal NFL talent.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's why DK went down.
Yeah.
That's why he wasn't, because Bengals picked John Ross because he was fast, wanted to be the next Tyreek Hill.
That dude I
feel bad for him. I mean, he wants out of the Bengals, and they didn't trade him, and he's still inactive every game.
How about Will Fuller? And speaking of
Will Fuller, yes.
We'll hit the Houston-Jacksonville game here in just a second, too. But how about Will Fuller, by the way, with the whole going to the Bengals? The Bengals said, nah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
No,
that's bad for the Bengals.
Going Packers.
Or, Packers, that's my fault. That's my fault. But, I mean.
That would have been big.
Yeah,
that would have been big receiver.
The fact that the Packers didn't do anything, and you clearly have holes, especially a receiver and probably a good defensive player, because, probably an interior, player, you need somebody on defense. And that is head-scratching, a lot, especially a receiver.
I think it shows a lot more for the Texans than it does the Packers, though. Because, I mean, you're at a Texans organization. You just got this job because Bill O'Brien's gone. You're not giving up anybody on that team anymore. You're gonna be revolted and kicked out of the building.
Use it for your coaching resume, kind of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, let's just be honest. If you were to ship them off, Deshaun Watson doesn't have any really good threats. Mm-hmm. And then if they play bad, your coaching looks bad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you'd be as not a good coach.
You don't want to be on the hot seat right off the bat.
Exactly. So I can say that maybe is, maybe just like you said on the Texans side, but man, there's reports of they did make an offer.
That was in discussion.
And
I think we go ahead and roll that Texans tape right here. And one player I'm impressed with that they'll show later on is Brandon Cooks finally having a game. But look at this, DJ Chark on the money. This isn't the shoe. This ain't Gardner Minshew.
No, this is the rookie, right?
Yep, I believe his last name. I believe his last name's Allen. But this is DJ Chark right here. No, I don't know.
I didn't know his name. I can't remember his name.
But right here, Deshaun Watson coming here. Who's gonna find? He's going to find.
I can't remember.
That's Brandon Cooks going yard. Like I said, Brandon Cooks.
I mean, unreal. I mean, this game is a shootout. By the way, I had James Robinson on my fantasy team. I love that man, dude. That dude he just gets the job done.
He does.
You know what I mean? I love it. Give me some more fantasy points.
He'll just get you points.
Right here, Deshaun Watson in the red zone. This isn't David Johnson anymore. This is Duke Johnson, the other Johnson, right here. Coming back for Deshaun Watson, another 3rd and 6.
Look at that. I mean, probably play the game
Will Fuller right here, 77 yards.
Stud.
But what they don't show, though, is this play should not have counted as the Texans did jump before pre-snap penalty. So that right here we got Jake Luton for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Like I said, I didn't even heard of it. Oh!
Rookie Jake Luton making some spin moves into the end zone. Keeping that game close. Right here, Jake Luton. Look at that. Hit him with that B. Press the B button and get in the end zone, my guy.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so quarterback controversy, maybe?
Maybe.
But here, they go for 2, and they don't get it,
It's just a bad throw. I mean, this is where you can't do that quarterback controversy yet because he threw it not only low, but behind him. You put that in front of DJ Chark, and that's 2-point conversion, and the game's tied. Right here, the Texans come away with the victory, 27-25. Much needed win for the Texans as they're trying to get back into this playoff push, and they're hoping for that 8th seed so they can squeeze in there, maybe play some Miami Dolphins in Miami.
I mean, they're in that hole, but man, how about that? I mean, you get Jake Luton. Let's just be honest with you. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. I didn't even know the dude's name.
No.
And like whenever that video played, because I wasn't able to. I didn't really sit. Like I saw the Will Fuller play, but I didn't even have a chance to sit down. I didn't know the dude's name. Like, I was like, yeah.
One thing that the video showed is that they didn't stitch up his nameplate very well. You look at.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
His whole nameplate's coming off. I mean, what are you doing? You gotta lace up the guy's name. Come on, equipment man. Come on, man. But good game for Luton. I was impressed. I mean, it's like him and the QB for Dallas, Garrett. They played good games coming in, and I don't know. They're probably not going to get a starting job anytime soon, but they definitely proved to be a backup role.
Yeah. I mean, here's the deal.
Jets can call.
Speaking of which, Dallas.
Yeah.
Man. Oh, and another thing, too, on that. J.J. Watt had his 100th career sack this game as well.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah, about J.J. Watt, though, what he said in his conference this week, he said, I'm not looking to rebuild.
He's looking for a championship.
He's looking for a championship.
And here's the deal. teams and kind of GMs were maybe on notice of that, and I saw a report because it's like, maybe J.J. Watt gets shipped off before the trade deadline.
But he didn't.
But, I mean, let's just be my bold prediction for the offseason, and I know that we're like quite a ways away ahead. I think that J.J. Watt will want to opt out of his contract.
Yeah, he's
go to
gonna
free
I
agency.
wouldn't blame him.
I could see it. Like, think about it. I mean, that dude, and sure, I mean, you want to stay your entire career with one team, but dude, that dude's been there since what, 2011, 2012?
He's given everything he could to that team.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they just can't, and it's like that they weren't even, the conference championship or anything like that. They made it to the divisional round, I think, at most, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like,
and they blew a 24-hole lead against the Chiefs.
I mean, it's unfortunate, and I'd be ticked off. I'm like, look, I give my entire heart and soul in this, to this entire city. We can't even get past the divisional round, and my entire year's here.
But
like,
one thing that everybody's saying though is he's going to join his brothers in Pittsburgh.
I've heard that.
I like JJ, but he wouldn't start. I mean, Stephon Tuitt's having a career year. He's not going to start over Stephon Tuitt. Plus, we simply don't have the money for him.
Exactly.
I mean, we got to pay Alejandro Villanueva, Juju, Connor, TJ, Bud.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and also kind of going James Conner. He hasn't impressed me this year at all. I mean, at all. I mean, you would think, because he had amazing games whenever Le'Veon left, and you'd think that, okay, it's his turn. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the passing the torch, and really he hasn't done that at all. He's really taken a step back, and that's not what you want.
They played the 27th worst run defense, and he's only able to muster out 9 carries for 22 yards, averaging 2.1 yards a carry.
That's a problem.
I mean, part of it is I don't think Randy Fichtner can draw up a good run play because it's all inside zone through the B gap. But, I mean, you still got to get more production. And the Steelers had the most success going 5 wide and having Ben call the plays. I mean, our first four downs in the game, we went punt, turnover on downs, punt. That's all Fichtner calling plays.
That's insane.
The next drives, Ben calling plays, touchdown, field goal, touchdown.
Unreal.
That just goes to show you how knowledgeable quarterbacks are of the game, and sometimes they should be given control. AKA Matt Nagy.
Mitch Trubisky.
I would rather have Mitch Trubisky calling plays than Matt Nagy.
Right. I mean,
hey,
has Matt Nagy shown you anything this year about
defense?
No, he showed me something. He showed me that they can run into brick walls.
No, that is true. We are good at that. We are very good at that.
And Ian, if you got this video package, which you might have, I want to jump to this game. Minnesota and Detroit. AP comes back home. So Matthew Stafford coming out of the tunnel here. This is something that was really intriguing.
He wasn't supposed to play.
Yeah,
he was
on the
play.
COVID list.
And then he gets hurt throughout this game, and Chase Daniel has to come in, and real quick. And first of all, we can't go any further without talking about that man, number 33, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
What a past 2 weeks, man! I got him on my fantasy team.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I passed on him. Definitely regret passing on him. But I mean, he's usually hurt.
Oh!
Justin Jefferson action right here. Matthew Stafford still in. He doesn't have Kenny Galladay today. Kenny Galladay's hurt, but who does he find? Jones Jr. for the touchdown right here.
I mean, this Lions team is so weird, man. Like, I saw predictions of them saying, 11-5 season. I don't know. I mean, that AFC North.
I had high hopes for them. I mean, it looks good on paper. I mean, you got a defensive coordinator and Matt Patricia leading the way with a good defense this year.
It's like that Cleveland Browns team.
Cleveland Browns can look good on paper every year.
on paper, but
I think the Browns need to get rid of Beckham, if I'm being honest, right here.
Ooh, hot take.
I think he'll be gone.
But, I mean, look at that. I mean, just muscling his way through. See you later. I'm going to your mama's house. See you later.
You got some bread and cookies
Forrest
coming
Gump,
for him.
he's out of here.
You run all the way through the end zone. Dalvin Cook having some monster games here recently, though. Just stop him.
70-yard touch. I mean, just made it look too easy. And, it really has shown that injury that he had earlier in the year hasn't really affected him. And you know what? Kirk Cousins is so much like Carson Wentz, and their stat lines are really similar. 20 rushes for 190 yards and 2 touchdowns. Impressive.
And that's something else. If Kirk Cousins does not perform this year, I don't think the Vikings keep him.
He's got that monster contract, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
That's
got to be a
exactly.
lot of dicks
He's not
happening.
playing up to it.
Well, 2 things with that. Number 1, Kirk Cousins is just like Carson Wentz. They're so inconsistent. Like, one week they play like garbage, and then the next week they play really well. Like, it's weird. But going back to what you said, you know, kind of comparing a little bit to Carson Wentz, crazy we're talking about the Eagles and they're on the but I don't think with the Eagles and Carson Wentz comparing to that, you know, because they both have big contracts. I mean, Carson Wentz has a huge contract, you know, because he's a franchise quarterback, and they think that Kirk Cousins is, but I'll be honest with you, I never thought that Kirk Cousins was a franchise quarterback from the start. No. I thought that he just had some decent years in Washington, and honestly, the Vikings didn't really have a lot of good quarterback options on the table. And
good old Keenum.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Keenum.
Yeah, so they needed somebody to replace it, and they just gave him big money just because he wanted it. That's just my analysis there. But anyway, I think they will literally not move on from Carson until it's like the very, very wit's end. Because looking back at the Dallas game, you know, he had 4 turnovers. Mm-hmm. You know, and we weren't able to talk about it last week because of the interview with Chris McPherson, but he had 4 turnovers. And so with that, you think, man, you know, usually I would think that if somebody has 2 picks and 2 fumbles, you'd think that they get benched. Like, and really, but that's not how the Eagles are. They're like,
but that
Doug Pearson even said it wasn't even in consideration. And I'm like, and you know what? And somebody asked him today, and I'm like, this is not the answer you want to hear. Somebody asked him today about trying to extend plays and making Carson Wentz just does way too much. And somebody asked him about that, and he goes, yeah, he was like, I think there's a fine line of that. He's like, that's just the nature of who I am. And I'm like, dude, that's not the answer we want to hear. Like, we want you to clean that up.
All the time.
Like, you know, it's like clean that up.
Yeah.
It's.
But it goes back to the John Madden quote a long time ago. If you have 2 quarterbacks, do you really have one?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And,
you know,
we'll say that for next week. I'm not about to get frustrated.
Who the Eagles got this week, Kyler? Who the Eagles got?
Who do they have? This is awful that I do not know this. This is horrible, and because the bye week threw me off. I think it's the Giants.
Giants?
It's the Giants. Giants, correct. So, and here's the deal.
That defense is looking good for the Giants, though. G-Men looking up. No.
You know, I think they'll go into New York and they'll get the job done. But at the same time, I'm not trying to have Daniel Jones run, 70.
Oh, don't worry. You'll be okay.
I wish we had that clip we played. But anyway,
you better make sure you brought your banana peels with you.
Yeah, we're kidding. Playing Mario Kart out here.
Wow, man. Wow, fellas. It's been a
crazy week.
We've been in this for 8
But
weeks.
you know what the craziest thing is? The Falcons hang on to the lead.
They did.
Yeah!
They did.
Somebody giving a presentation of a good job award.
Yeah.
You held on to a lead.
Yay!
Good for you.
They had, what was it, 37-34?
But here's the deal. They still almost kind of blew it because it was 34-27 and they were blowing them out in the fourth quarter. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you have just kind of running through these little bit of the games you talk about. I think we literally talk about every single game except for Denver, Atlanta, which Atlanta wins this one.
We didn't mention the Chargers and
I was just about to say Chargers and Raiders either.
That was a very controversial game because they called back the game-winning touchdown that Justin Herbert threw. And it was a good throw by Herbert, but
surprise.
Yeah.
It really saved me though because I bet on that Raiders game.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching the score. It was 31.
Yeah, right here. Here's the play.
31-26. There it is. I saw this play and I'm like,
right in between the hands. Perfect
oh.
delivery. He's got both feet down, got the knee down,
but the ball is
moving.
Possession, yeah.
You got to maintain.
I saw that score go up 32-31, and I about had a heart attack.
Hey,
but then they reversed it.
Hey, real quick, kind of on a side note, those are some clean jerseys.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are.
I've always
those
thought
jerseys, man. Those are clean. But, I mean, really, like I said, great game overall. But, it's – the Raiders are just weird, I think, a little bit.
I mean, need to get better on defense.
Yeah. That's one thing, and they got to get their O-line healthy.
Yeah.
Somebody guard the back and get COVID out of the locker room. But they went into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They beat the Saints. I mean, they're a
good
scary
teams.
team that no one's talking about.
They're a Kingslayer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to see what they do moving forward. I mean, they can't take the AFC West. I mean, I don't see them taking the AFC West over the Chiefs.
No. I think they've got second place in the lock, though.
Yeah.
I think they'll figure it out.
I think they'll be able to get that 7th spot.
So looking to tonight, because we're recording this on Monday night, or Monday afternoon, I should say, but looking to Monday night.
Bring out the participation trophy.
You might as well just
I'm betting the under on this
I
game.
didn't want to talk about. I didn't want to talk about this. The Patriots and the Jets. Woo, division matchup. That doesn't matter. You know, woo.
Bill
Who
Belichick
can
against
go
Adam
to fourth
Gase.
place quicker?
Can you imagine this? Can you imagine if the Jets actually win tonight?
I mean, I
the
hope they do.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about taking them.
I mean, old Frank Gore, he's gonna run for 200 yards.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm gonna,
man.
Yeah. And
We can only
and that
hope.
is about as accurate as me saying that I'm going to play in the NFL next week. Like, that ain't happening.
No, but Frank Gore's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, and the Bears.
Old
The
wheels.
Bears
He's
are going
on
to get the run
1980s.
game going. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing I'm excited about is if the Jets actually win this thing, because that means the winless Jets just beat Bill Belichick. Like, that's the only thing I'm excited about. And
Lots of meme opportunities.
I mean, has Cam Newton still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver yet?
that's insane.
oh my goodness.
And you've lost Edelman for the season. Neil Harry is not anywhere near you thought he was going to be. You have no money to sign wide receivers in the offseason.
I had
Going down.
I had read somewhere that Sam Darnold might not play tonight.
Really?
So he might have Joe
you're
Flacco.
right, yeah.
Might have Joe Flacco.
I think it probably is Flacco.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
Elite
But
quarterback.
for your fantasy team, you got to be wacko to start Joe Flacco.
That's right.
You don't want to start Joe Flacco.
Well, and like I said, we also didn't cover the Green Bay and Niners game, but Green Bay absolutely dominated. Devontae Adams went off.
Thank goodness.
The 49ers are not good just simply because of their injuries. That's really the storylines we have there.
Yeah, they're the 29ers.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not an
half
impressive
the team.
win to me because you're playing practice squad.
Yeah.
You're playing
Yeah.
practice squad players.
So, fellas, we covered everything. How about that? We got through all of
Week
it.
9 of the NFL.
right.
So, I guess that'll wrap. That should wrap things up here on the show. So, thank you for watching on YouTube and listening to us on Spotify. We greatly appreciate you. You guys are legends.
We made your car drive even better.
Yeah,
That's right.
We hope we did. But we hope we keep you entertained, and you know we love doing this, and we just love talking about sports and talking about NFL and MLB and NBA. It's just kind of our natural thing. So, anyways, appreciate you tuning in. See you next time.